May 1st, 2014. Guys, this is part 3 in the series about the move of the one world religion. We see the satanic rituals come out of the Vatican, and I've told you about the Locust Army, and that Locust Army is a army of so-called preachers and priests. But this Baha'i faith and one world religion deal is set up in Israel now. This is their monolith, their obelisk that is in Israel, has the sun god symbol that you see here, the same one that the Pope stares into as they call up Satan. But this is spread around the world, and now they have their grand temple in Israel. But look at, you see the symbol in the center there, the temple, you see the symbol on the pyramid. It's the same thing the Pope is holding. Now let's go to Haifa in Israel. This is the new house of justice of the Baha'i religion. It says the Baha'i is almost a perfect New Age religion. This is an article. This monotheistic cult was founded by Baha'u'llah in 19th century Persia, and it emphasizes the spiritual unity of all humankind. His modern-day disciples call him the herald of a new age. Today, there are estimated 5 to 6 million Baha'is around the world in more than 200 countries and territories. Now, guys, we're looking at what's called the Shrine, the Baha'ian in Israel. Reminds me of the Babylonian gardens, and looks like the dome of the mosque. We see these in the Capitol buildings around the world. But what their goals are this, and be very aware. It says the abandonment of all forms of prejudice, assurances to women of full equal opportunity with men, the recognition of unity and relativity of religious truth, the elimination of extremes of poverty and wealth, the realization of universal education, the responsibility of each person to independently search for truth, the establishment of a global commonwealth of nations, recognition that true religion is a harmony with reason and the pursuit of scientific knowledge. Now, recognize all the writing between the lines here. One world order. It says they believe that he was the messenger of God, is more perfect than all other Christ and Messiahs who came before him. He declares that time has come for the one world order and the recognition of oneness of mankind. He wrote of the need of the world government in this age of humanity's collective life because of the emphasis in the international community has chosen to support efforts of improving international relations through organizations as the League of Nations, United Nations, with some reservations about the present structure and constitution of the UN. The Baal International Community is an agency under the direction of the Universal House of Justice in Haifa. The temple, Roman temple, it looks like many in Washington also. But what we're seeing is this final move, and it's been done mostly under the radar. It says this international community is an agency under the direction of the Universal House of Justice and has consultative status with the following organizations. And just these 5 alone are scary enough, guys, if you look at what they've done. But it says in line with the UN, they do not believe in carrying arms. They are asked to avoid combative military servants, but they do approve in taking part of a future world police force straight from the Vatican to the temples of Israel. It says it's a supreme governing institution of the faith. It is a legislative institution with the authority to supplement and apply the laws of Baha'u'llah, the founder, and exercise a judicial function of the highest appellate institutions in their administration. The Universal House of Justice gives its followers the vision and framework of the grand design for spiritual conquest of the planet. It's called the Last Days Stronghold in Israel. If you read Luke 21, if you read about fleeing, when you see this come about, the Baha'is made their headquarters on Mount Carmel in Haifa, Israel. It overlooks the valley of Megiddo, the location where the future battle of Armageddon will take place. It is also where Elijah took a stand against the false prophets of Baal. Are you listening? Now, you know that that Armageddon has to do with the Messiah returning to the earth and defeating the Antichrist in the Battle of Armageddon. You understand what I'm saying? It's all coming to this point in Israel, on Mount Carmel, overlooking this valley. Now, it's just not a good time to be there. And what really is going on? What are we seeing here? We've got the Pope, the same symbols, the same obelisk. This is in Haifa. This is part of that Mount Carmel abomination of desolation. Remember what the Lord said about this? He says, "Thus saith the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and besides me there is no other gods." Now, has the Pope been here, or has that movement been here? Yes, called the Carmelites. Catholic religious order was founded on Mount Carmel in the 12th city, named the Carmelites. Reference to the mountain range, the founder was a certain Berthold, who died at an unknown date after 1185, and who was either a pilgrim or a crusader. It's got a statue of Elijah there in the cave of Elijah. This is a mountain where God defeated with Elijah all the false gods. That is what Armageddon is going to be a battle of. Of Christ destroying these churches, these false gods that we see coming. Now, what else is there on Mount Carmel? The IBM Haifa Research Lab. It says IBM is a pioneer in sensor technology and is the maker of the RFID chip. It says, if you recall, they had a strategic alliance with Nazi Germany and created a custom punch card devised by IBM to track prisoners in Nazi concentration camps, including those at Auschwitz. IBM seems to have made another vital alliance. Please pay attention. This is there. This is the most compelling aspect of Mount Carmel, is the obelisk which marks the site of the future house of worship. The Arabic name is the drawing place of the remembrances of God. That's what Armageddon is, the drawing together. It says this site is situated at the head of the mountain of God in close proximity to the spot hallowed by the footsteps of Baalu near the time-honored cave of Elijah. It's associated with the revelation of the tablet of Carmel in the charter of the world's spiritual and administrative centers of the faith of the mountain. It says the international community has offices in the U.S. and New York, Geneva, Bangkok, Nairobi, Rome. You can read these. They can be identified by the dome-shaped architecture. Look, they have one in Wilmette, Illinois, in the cornfields of Illinois. And what you're seeing is everything's been put in place. Now we're seeing with the satanic rituals in Rome, the calling of Apollyon or Ra, the sun god, to lead this locust army. They're going to follow him and force you to follow him. If they can. They can't, the elect. These are their worship houses around the world, Australia, South, and Chile. These are called their Baha'i house of worship. It says they are holy places around the world, including the community center in New York. As we can see, we're closer to the Lord's return than some want to believe, and I very firmly agree with the author of some of this information. It said the enemy has been setting into place those things he will need to rule. Unfortunately, Christianity has done nothing to keep it from furthering his plan. You have not put the walls up. You have daubed them with untempered mortar. The church has taken unto itself the lies of the new age in order for it to carry out Lucifer's plan. Judgment starts at the pulpit. Just as we will begin to see all the Christian denominations become one church. We're seeing it, Kenneth Copeland. We will see them the blending of all religions. Oh, I'm friends with everyone. There's only one thing that is missing. It's leader. This article was written before what we saw in Rome this past weekend. The final blended one-world religion may change its name from Baha when it is all said and done, but the framework has definitely been laid. They're calling it the Catholic Charismatic Alliance, but its real name is the Baha'i. Kenneth Copeland, Tony Palmer, in the conference with the Pope. Copeland goes into speaking in tongues that no man can interpret. It's called demonic possession. Here's the U.S. Army of Locusts that you're looking at. The framework has definitely been laid. You have been warned. Heads up. Be safe.